Hello, everybody. Welcome to BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, the 2024 draft is behind us. We're done. We've posted all the videos. I think we've been able to relax the past week or so without having to worry about it. But we've been meaning to do this for a while now, and that is do a redraft for previous NBA drafts. And so we want to do ones that we've scouted, and we obviously know the players, and we know what we thought about them at the time and everything. So we said, why not start with our first one, the 2020 NBA draft, and kind of redraft from there. That was the first year we did BC Buckets. It was like during COVID, we just were trying stuff and we're having fun. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go 1 through 30, redraft. We'll do like, do you want the odds or the evens? We didn't even talk about that beforehand.
Pistons pick 7. They'll do odds.
Okay, odds. So Colin has the odd numbers. I have the even numbers, and we'll just draft. The way I liked phrasing this was drafting to like add them to your team now, if that makes sense. Like you're like if the Timberwolves have the number 1 pick, like they're drafting as if
You're adding
already know.
Anthony Edwards to the Anthony Edwards.
The Anthony Edwards team. So so yeah, that's kind of the way we're gonna do it, and we'll run through it, and we'll also give our thoughts on where we were on them as a prospect, if we were higher on them, lower on them, how their careers turned out. But we have a pretty good sample size of 4 years to for all these players. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. For those, I guess we should kind of show the. I don't think we need to. I was gonna say show the original draft, but it was Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball, Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, Onyeka Okongwu, Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin, Deni Avdija, and Jalen Smith as the top 10. So just a recap for everybody there. You can go first.
All right. Well, that's easy. I'm gonna pick Anthony Edwards. Obviously, I guess for me, wasn't number 1 at the time. For you, he was. I had Killian Hayes number 1 at the time. But
yes, he did.
Anthony Edwards has clearly been the best player to come out of this draft so far. Obviously, took his team to the Western Conference Finals. So yeah, he's gonna go back to his same team. Congrats.
Yes, there you go. Hey, the Timberwolves. It's like if we had gotten rid of all the 2020 players and just reassigned them, and so the Timberwolves get back the best player in the draft. Yeah, I had him number 1 on my board going in. You could tell like at Georgia how freakishly athletic he was. There were questions about the shooting, the shot selection, and everything else because he was on not a good Georgia team, but he just kind of, you could tell he was a dog. You could tell he had that it factor at times, and he has completely blossomed into an all-star player for the Wolves. So that's number 1. Number 2, James Wiseman went at this spot. He will not be going at this spot here. I can assure you all that much. It's hard because I have this second tier of players. There's 3 of them, and they're all point guards: LaMelo, Tyrese, and Tyrese, Maxey, and Halliburton. I'm gonna go with what the Warriors should have done this year, and that back in 2020, and that is take LaMelo Ball at number 2.
Oh,
I'm taking LaMelo Ball over the Tyrese's. I think LaMelo Ball is the best player between the 3, and if we want to do team fit, I honestly think that would be really fun to have him and Steph next to each other for a couple years and just let him kind of rock out. So
LaMelo Ball has also been really injured, though.
He has, but I'm not too worried about that. Like
has played 100 less games.
I think he's significantly better than Maxey and I love Maxey. I think he's better than Maxey and Halliburton healthy. So give me LaMelo.
I hate that pick. That's good for me though, I guess. I'm gonna go with Tyrese Halliburton at this 3 spot for the Hornets. Obviously, going into the draft, we loved everything about him except for his shot, and his shot has come around and been amazing. So sorry, Pacers. No, Halliburton.
What do you mean?
Tyrese Halliburton is who I want.
Oh, you took Halliburton.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you took Maxey.
Wow.
We had a stare off for a second. I was like,
yeah, your face was like, what? I was like, Halliburton. And you're like,
I thought you were frozen.
No, I was
Halliburton was, I believe, here I have my board up. Halliburton was 10th on my board. So I was relatively the same as where consensus had him. To go back to the number 2 pick, LaMelo Ball, I had him number 2. I know you had him number 9, I
it
think,
was
in the
late,
class.
unfortunately for me.
I think it was 9 there. This class was significantly worse than the 21, 22, and 23 drafts because we just didn't know like where
Yeah.
Edward and Ball and them like how good they were, or like nobody did. So you kind of were gambling on them, but um I guessed right with those two. And then Halliburton I had at 10. I did not believe in the shot whatsoever.
Neither of us did,
Like
and I had him at 5, so that
there's
just kinda
you
tells
had him at
you
5?
I had him
Wow.
at 5.
Yeah. Awesome
Um,
playmaker out of college, but, like, not a highly rated recruit, not, like, this dynamic guy, but just he's just a ball player. He can makes a lot of winning plays on both sides of the ball. So, there's Tyrese Halliburton. The Bulls, this is pretty easy to me. Tyrese Maxey falls at 4. All-star this past year. I think anybody who listened to us, we were I had him at 13 on my
I'm at
board.
12.
Yeah, we were very high on Maxi compared to the consensus. I think you could just see the playmaking, the scoring, the shooting was a question mark out of college because like he shot like I think it was like 30%, 29%, something like that. But
Yeah.
and he has like a low release. But if this draft taught us anything, it's that don't overreact when the shot looks funky. If it goes in, it goes in. LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey. The shots all look a little funky, but they go in. And so, yeah, those are Tyrese Maxey is pretty clearly my number 4 pick here to the Bulls in a perfect situation. So, all right, you're up. Cavs at 5. This is
Cavs
where
at
it goes to
5.
tier 3 for me, and it's like pretty distinctly like I don't know who I'd take between these 4.
I guess I'm gonna go with hold on real quick. I'm looking at stat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Desmond Bane.
Yeah, I think that's the best pick.
Originally taken 30th
Crazy.
in the original draft. I
I had
think
him
a lot of
19.
I don't remember where I had him. I had him 19 as well, actually.
Right.
He not like super physically imposing. Obviously, an older player coming out, but could shoot the hell out of the ball. He's continuing to shoot the hell out of the ball, and actually has the 4th most points out of anybody drafted that year. So, yeah,
And I think he's shown a lot more off the balance than we ever expected him to
yeah,
do. I mean, it's
yeah,
just scoring like when Ja Morant goes down, it's like, okay, Desmond Bain is legitimately a 30-point scoring threat at times.
yep.
So, yeah, shout out to Desmond Bain. That is one of the better stories of this draft class of him becoming like a really, really high end starter for the Grizzlies. And now for the Cavs. All right, the Hawks, number 6, between 3 names again. McDaniels, Vassell, and Avdi are the 3 I'm between, and they're all very different. McDaniels defense, Vassell offense, and Avdia, I think has maybe the highest upside of the 3. I still really buy Avdia's upside. Um, I'm gonna take Jaden McDaniels.
Mm.
And I don't know if I love that, but I think he still has room to grow. Like he's defensively, obviously, an all defense caliber player, one of the best defensive wings in the league. I was one of the best defenders on the best defense in the league this past year, and came around as a shooter, is improving as an offensive player. So I'm going to buy Jaden McDaniel's defense and like scoring potential for the future here.
So Pistons have their current team, which doesn't include Killian Hayes. So
Yes,
this is
there
just
you
a
go.
free player.
Yeah, a little swap out for you
A little
with the
swap out.
Pistons.
This is interesting. Don't need guards, need wings here. So I'm gonna go with Devin Vassell.
Okay.
If it was not the Pistons, I probably would have taken Emmanuel quickly, actually. But I'm gonna
Mm.
go with Devin Vassell here. Yeah, we loved him out of college. Really good defender.
Oh,
I
we do
think.
need to go back and talk about how we did not like Jaden McDaniels out of college.
Oh
This is when
yeah,
we
where
were
was he?
wrong on Jaden McDaniels to go back to that point.
He was 31 on my on my board.
Yeah, 33 on mine.
And that was most of that was just because I say just because was like let me find my scouting report of him.
The dude
Jesus.
didn't look like he wanted to play basketball
At all.
like 90% of the time. At anything. It looked like he thought he was Kevin Durant, and he did nothing like Kevin Durant. The scoring upside was like flashed, but very, very, very sketchy. And then he didn't want to play defense, and now he is an all defensive player.
Yeah. So
I'll just take the loss on that one.
how the tables have turned.
Vassell.
Yeah, Vassell. He was also, I think, pretty high on my board. Maybe not actually. Hold on.
He's 7th on my board.
8th. Okay, there he was. Yeah, 8 on my board. Actually, I had Denny Avdia higher, but I think Vassell gives the Pistons now what they need with shooting and defense. So, yeah, 37%. And also, 9th most points out of those draftees.
Yeah. All right, 8, the Knicks. I'm just gonna take the best player available, but actually, let me think for a second. They just lost Isaiah Hartenstein. Give me Onyeka Okongwu. I think he's pretty damn good, and this is actually, I think, exactly where I had him. Yeah, 8th on my board. Out of college was kind of a Bam Adebayo light, and I still think he is a Bam Adebayo light. Defensively, just really strong, versatile, not the biggest guy, but strong on the glass. So I think he would fit in great with the Knicks, who just lost Isaiah Hartenstein. So that's my 8th pick.
Washington Wizards. Man.
Avdia falling to them
just
again?
Pick Avdia? No. So I think Sar's gonna end up playing the 4 there. So
okay.
I'm gonna go
maybe a little too.
Yeah, but they keep getting centers in free agency. So
okay.
I'm gonna go with Emmanuel quickly. Okay. All defensive SEC player of the year out of SEC defensive player of the year out of college. Float game is crazy, and he's been able to shoot almost 38% from 3. I think he was a lot of part of why the Knicks are so successful in these last few years. And yeah,
and then they dumped him to Toronto.
Yep, dumped him
at the end of the year for OG Anunoby.
Tough.
Does loyalty mean nothing anymore? All right, yeah. We loved Quickly. Okay, I don't want to say we loved Quickly. We were higher on Quickly. Quickly had like a mid-second round grade. I had him 32. So
I had him
was
27
like 15 spots. 27. Okay, yeah. So you can take the victory lap there. But yeah, we were higher on him. Still had question marks because of his like frame, and he didn't get all the way to the rim and whatnot, but very good player. So good pick for the Wizards. The Suns at 10. Jeez. Book, Durant, and
Beal.
Like, what does that team need?
Well, they didn't do anything this year, so something.
No, they need something. This is tough. I'm gonna give them a point guard. I'm gonna go Cole Anthony.
I'm
gonna go Cole Anthony, and I think he's been kind of slept on throughout this, like, his career, in terms of just the player that he is, because he's not flashy, and the Magic don't rely on him to be like this dominant player, but he's averaging 26 minutes per game, averaging 13.5 points, 4 assists, and 4.5 rebounds. Relatively high on win shares per 48. I think this would be a really nice pick and a good addition for them. So, yeah, give me Cole Anthony.
Okay, Spurs. You guys just drafted.
But you have our Spurs pick.
Yep. Sorry. You guys just drafted geez, I can't remember. Stephon Castle.
You can do it. There you go.
And man.
Also, Cole Anthony, 4 straight years, all 4 years, double-digit points.
Cole Anthony was my pick for you guys here.
Pretty efficient shooting. So,
but
shout out to him.
You took that from me.
Let's see. Who would I take here? We have Wembanyama.
Yeah, obviously. Um,
What about like a? Is there a world in which Isaiah Stewart can play next to Victor Wembanyama because he can shoot a
I
little
think I'd
bit?
rather have Avdia next to him though.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
though I guess he's somehow a worse shooter than Isaiah Stewart, which is hilarious to me.
Hey, Isaiah Stewart.
You know what? Yeah, screw it. Isaiah Stewart to the
I,
Spurs. He can do nothing once the ball in his hands, but he can catch and shoot,
that's fine.
and he
That's
can
fine.
defend at
Can
a
he? Can he
relatively high
rebound a little
level.
bit too? He can rebound a little bit.
Let's see how many rebounds he averages. Yeah, almost 8 rebounds a game.
Yeah. Come on now. Don't sleep on beef stew like this.
I love beef stew, but also, yeah.
Okay. All right. you just hate the pick. You're just not even.
Oh no,
All right.
I don't dislike the pick. It's just I think I'm just bitter because the Pistons have sucked so bad. He was originally really late on my board as well. 34th, I think, is where I had him. I
Well,
think you
because
had him in the
remember,
second
out of
round as well.
college,
Yeah.
he was a back to the basket big.
Yep.
We didn't see much shooting potential, and now it's just like, all right, he can shoot. So
Yeah.
here we go. All right, 12 Kings. I'm gonna stop the slide. Give me Denny Avdia here.
Stop.
I'm gonna
Stop.
stop the slide. Stop the slide. Denny Avdia, I think, has his best years at him. I think it was a great trade from the Trailblazers to get him to pair with Scoot. I think, and Klingon and whatnot. So I think the Blazers are in a good spot in real life. In this fictional draft, I think the Kings would love Denny Avdia to pair with Sabonis and Fox as like a do it all wing forward type guy there. So yeah, Denny Avdia at 12. I like that.
All right.
The Pels.
Pelicans. Hold on, looking something up real quick because now I'm
Now they
curious.
still have Brandon Ingram, but I don't think this. I wouldn't worry about fit too much here because like I don't even know
Yeah,
like fit
that's what I
wise.
was
Like
trying to think. I think I'm just gonna go Sadiq Bey here.
yeah,
I like Sadiq Bey a lot. Obviously, also a former Piston. Actually got him in this draft originally as well. Um, I think he just is a guy that can score at a relatively high level, and then also, I mean, he's not like a player that's great at any one thing, but he's able to shoot it from three pretty well, 35%. He's able to get to the line a little bit and can play a lot of minutes. So
dude, it's crazy. Sadiq, like when I was going through this last night, Sadiq Bey averages 14 points per game for his career, the fifth most points of anybody in this draft class for his career. Like
mhm.
I did not. I mean, I
He
was
scored 50 when he was on the Pistons once.
yeah, I knew he could score. I didn't know he was fifth in this draft class in scoring. That's pretty staggering. All right. Celtics at 14. Kind of done drafting for fit here. I kind of just want to draft the best player. And I think Isaac Okoro, with his ability to defend and shoot the three ball, he has not been the player I thought he was going to be. Okay.
You
I
had
had
him fourth on your
him
board, right?
third. I had him
Third.
third on
Jeez.
my board. Because
I had him
look, if you
I had him
watch
10th.
out of college, this is a dude who's a freak athlete, is a freak athlete,
Mhm.
and could do everything on the defense side of the ball. And then I was like, if the shot comes around, he's going to be awesome. The shot came around and he's still not awesome. Like he shot 39% from three this past year, and he still was a good player. Was a very good like okay. Now don't get it wrong. He's a good player on a starting like he's starting on a playoff team in the Cavs, but ultimately like he was not. He didn't become the player I thought he was going to be when the shot came around. So he
Right.
still can't do anything with the ball in his hands. So take it for what it is. I think this would be awesome. Like him on the Celtics would be actually kind of devastating.
Devastating.
Yeah, I mean they would win the title again. So there you go. Him next to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Good lord.
Who did they draft originally at that spot?
Was it Pritchard?
Aaron Nesmith.
Oh,
Pritchard was 30th because I remember when they picked him and you said this guy sucks.
he wasn't 30th. He was 26th.
Whatever it was.
15 Magic.
15 Magic. I'm gonna go with Patrick Williams. That is my pick, and I'm sticking to it.
I don't hate that. Now, I must admit, I have not watched much Patrick Williams on the Bulls, but
well, the Bulls are the Bulls. But I think Patrick Williams kind of, I mean, obviously maybe not to the extent of Isaac Okoro, but adds very similar things that he does in terms of the defensive end. And then he's able to shoot it really well. Career 41% from three. So
Yeah.
just some wing help.
Yeah. 16. Pistons back up here
Yeah, we just left the traded picks in. So Pistons get 3 picks.
because
They
they
need it.
ended up
They need the
trading
help.
for.
They
They
need
need
the
the help.
MB.
Yeah,
They need the help.
don't ask questions why if you're watching this. All right, just let them live. All right, I'm in my 5th tier now. Some interesting names like an Aaron Neesmith, Josh Green. Yeah, y'all definitely don't need Obi Toppin.
Definitely don't need Obi Toppin.
I'm gonna give you Aaron Neesmith. Really good shooter. Played actually a pretty significant role on the Pacers this past year.
Mm-hmm.
On was in the heavily in that rotation and was able to shoot. Play off ball. I think actually showed a little bit more on ball this past year than I even thought he'd be capable of. But out of college, he was a very good shooter. He still is a very good shooter. He was 12th on my board in college. He has lived up to that, I think, even though I'm taking him at 16th in the redraft. So there you go. Pistons get a shooter. Congratulations.
Thunder. They don't need a whole lot considering they were just the 1 seed. They get drafted Nikola Topic.
Yeah, and
I
they
feel like,
signed Hartenstein and
yeah,
I traded for
man,
Caruso. So I think just best available probably.
anybody. I think I'm gonna go with.
Give him Isaiah Joe back. Isaiah Joe's already on the team.
That's a cop out. We're gonna do. We're gonna give him Trey Jones.
I'll tell you what. If they had not signed Hartenstein, I think Toppin would be really interesting. Like
Yeah, I think just for his athleticism, but
yeah, like I think you could pair him in situations next to Chet, and maybe like obviously play him behind Chet, but like I think that would be an interesting one. But they don't need that now.
yeah, I picked Trey Jones just because I feel like in the playoffs it was pretty apparent that it was SGA or bust, and just to give him another guy that can score.
Yeah, I mean they drafted Topic for a reason. Okay, the Mavericks here.
Do they retake Josh Green?
I was about to say, do they retake Josh Green? Knowing what we know right now at the 19th pick, athlete,
And you're not
mean,
taking him off the team, so he's an addition at this point.
well, they got rid of. I mean, he's gone now. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you're not. It's not like you're taking him.
yeah, taking
Like
him
you're
off.
not. You're not.
I'm
It's not
giving
like
him
the
back.
Anthony
I'm
Edwards.
giving
Yeah,
him back.
you're giving him back exactly.
Or do I go with like a? Okay, I'm gonna go Obi Toppin actually, and not think about it too much. I'm gonna go Obi Toppin because we saw how awesome it was to have lob threats with Luca. They lose Derek Jones Jr. Obviously, the Toppin's a different player in a different position, but I think you can move Obi Toppin into there at the 4 and at the 5, and kind of just throw lobs to him. And then defensively, I think he's decent enough to be in the rotation. I don't think anybody here is starting. Like Josh Green, that's the tier I have right now for those wondering. Josh Green, Peyton Pritchard, Obi Toppin, like Isaiah Joe. Like none of them are starting. So like find me a role player. I'm just gonna take Obi Toppin. The more I talk about, the less I like the pick. So go ahead. Now for the record, Obi Toppin, a lot of people had him as like, oh, this is a top 4 pick in the draft. This guy should go here and here. Guess where I had Obi Toppin on my board?
7.
17.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like you were high on a lot of random players.
Hang the banner. No, Colin, remember he's old. He's old out of college.
I had him at 14.
Yeah, so we were both lower on him, and we were both correct because there's no reason he should have been as high as he was in the draft.
All right, 19. Let us see here.
The Pistons again, baby.
Pistons again. We drafted Devin Vassell.
This is a great draft. Vassell and
Neesmith.
Aaron Neesmith.
So I think we're pretty set on the wings here. We need 3-point percentage. That's what we need here. So we're gonna go Isaiah Joe.
I like that.
Nearly 40% from 3.
Yeah.
Boom. There
Had
you
a
go.
good year with the Thunder, even though he didn't play like a ton. But I think the Thunder think highly of him. So
yeah,
that's a good pick. The shooting, I mean, for the Pistons in this draft,
all the Pistons need is shooting.
Vassell, Neesmith, and Joe. Whew. Damn, that'll get you some wins. All right, Miami at 20. This is tough. Josh Green. Just Josh Green. I think he's the best available player, and I think he'd be a decent fit for Miami.
Josh
Why?
Green.
Can't fully tell you, but I think he has some toughness, and I think he defends well enough to get on the court in Miami.
That is incredible. Can't fully
yeah.
tell you.
Yeah, it takes some pressure off Jimmy Butler on the wing. So there you go. Josh Green. 21, Sixers.
Sixers.
For the record, Paul Reed was the pick here, I believe. Right? No,
Yeah, I
Maxey
might.
was the pick here. Sorry. Whoa.
Oh yeah,
Maxey
Maxey was the pick here. Paul Reed was second round for
Second
them, I
round.
think.
Yeah, Paul Reed was second round.
Well, he's already on the team, so I don't need to give him back. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft Jalen Smith.
There you go.
Just another big in case people go down.
I like it. He's been sneakily a very good player from this draft class. Jalen Smith, 8.5 points for his career, getting more and more on his plate. Went from Philadelphia to Indianapolis. I'm sorry, Phoenix to Indiana. And yeah. So I like the pick. Let's see. Where am I at? 22 Nuggets. You know the Nuggets are trying to get Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, isn't that just weird?
It's just interesting. And Jokic really wants it.
Weird's a better way to say it.
Weird. I think I'm just gonna go. I don't like this, but I'm just gonna go Peyton Pritchard. Proven to be a solid NBA player that can score the ball at a decent rate. I think the Nuggets would love backup point guard help, would take some pressure off Jamal Murray. Can also maybe play alongside Jamal Murray. Good player. Peyton Pritchard, 22. That's my pick. And also, let the record show, out of college, Peyton Pritchard was 45th on my board. So congratulations to Peyton for surpassing any expectations I had of him. I admit, looking back on it now, I have no idea why. It was our first class. Maybe I was just figuring out what I wanted, but like Peyton Pritchard was killing at Oregon.
Yeah, and you hated him for some stupid reason.
And age, obviously, like athleticism and whatnot. But yeah,
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. T-Wolves.
Wolves 23.
Let me get man.
Killian
Who they draft earlier? Who did we have him draft earlier?
The Timberwolves, they haven't drafted anybody yet.
Oh, I thought they did.
I mean Anthony Edwards.
Oh, sorry. Anthony Edwards. That's brutal. You know what? If they can change McDaniels, they're gonna change James Wiseman. Give me James Wiseman.
There we go. James Wiseman.
Still, I think he's only 23 still.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah,
he's young.
So that is who I want.
Gobert and cat insurance. There you go.
Yeah. For sure.
Wiseman, I had him 6th on my board. I don't know where you had him on yours, but he went obviously number 2. You had him 2?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Bought into
I don't want to hear it. I've had way more hits than you so far.
Have you? Is that true?
Yeah.
I got the first 2, so I don't really know how much stock we can have here. I got the first 2 exactly right. So let's see. Nuggets 24. Nuggets backup, so I gave them Peyton Pritchard the first time. Give me Xavier Tillman. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. Yeah, I like that as a backup center option for the Nuggets, who just desperately need to stop paying DeAndre Jordan to be their backup center. Xavier Tillman's a much better player right now than DeAndre Jordan. So yeah, there you go. I like that draft for the Nuggets quite a bit.
Oh man,
the Knicks at 25.
I really don't want to draft Precious Achiuwa.
Precious Achiuwa. He's had a better career than I thought he was going to have. I'll say that much.
Where'd you have on your board?
Ooh, let's scroll down. 38.
I am at 32.
38. I had Precious Achua. Now, he does play. He got traded to the Knicks with the OG Anunoby trade, so he is on the Knicks right now. If you want to just keep him
Sell it for
going,
somebody else. I forgot about that actually.
or just
Let
keep
me.
him.
No, I mean he's already on the team. Don't need to keep him.
No, because all the 2020 players are not on their teams right now. They have been stripped away from their
That's
teams, and they
very
are doing
true.
an NBA redraft.
That
So,
is very true. I'll trust the GMs in New York.
yeah.
What Precious is she with there? 25
Yeah, he definitely wasn't just a throw-in to get OG Anunoby.
at all.
Not at all. They love
At
him.
all. Yeah, they.
All right, Celtics at 26 are back up here. This is where they took Peyton Pritchard. He's off the board. Wiseman's off the board. Tillman's off the board. This is where it gets really interesting. Because a name like
we're decimating the Celtics right now. So now you got to rebuild them.
a guy like Killian Hayes is available.
A guy like Killian Hayes.
I'm not taking him though. The Celtics, I'm just gonna take Malachi Flynn.
Gosh, you keep taking all the players I'm gonna take for the next team.
Malachi Flynn
Scored 50 with the Pistons this year.
Yeah, scored 50. I think he can score.
Good for him.
They don't have Peyton Pritchard anymore, so there you go. Malachi Flynn is your replacement for Peyton Pritchard in this.
Let's see. I think you got to go upside here. You got to go purely upside for the Jazz, and this is where Killian Hayes is going to get taken.
Oh my gosh, Killian
holding on to my number one.
He makes it into the draft, into the first round.
Wow. Had to. How old is he? Yeah, he's 22. Yeah, he can figure it out. If we're taking James Wiseman, we can take Killian Hayes. James
the best
Wiseman
years are ahead of Killian Hayes
for sure.
Even though he just got cut from the French national
team. Yeah. Yeah. What did he? Let's just give some quick shooting splits here. 27% from three, 38% from the field. 8 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game though.
Yeah.
Box plus minus I think is closer to the bottom. Yeah, it's 40th. It's 41st out of this draft class. So
I mean, he's been on an awful team every single year. So
James Wiseman is at 40.
Wow. Well, there you go. Well, he was on the Warriors that year that they tanked. I think Wiseman. No,
he was the one they tanked for.
Yeah, the one they tanked for. Geesh, sad times. All right, the Wolves. We already gave them a center, and we gave them Anthony Edwards. I'm just gonna take a shooter. Give me Jordan Nwora, who out of college was extremely old, but can shoot the ball and sometimes can score. So, yeah, Jordan Nwora. I think I had him. Let's see where I had Jordan Nwora on my board. Yeah, I just killed older players. 43 on my board. But yeah, Jordan Nwora is the pick here. I think originally went to the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I don't even see where Nwora is. Let me control F Nwora's name. 45th. He went 45th. Honestly, though, 7.5 points per game, 16 minutes. Played all 4 years. Has played 206 games. So, yeah, Jordan Nwora was the pick at 28. 29, Colin, your last pick to the Raptors. What you got?
I'm going to go with
Alexa Pokusevski?
No. I hate that I just heard your Alexa in the background. That was brutal.
Look, she's sorry. Go ahead. I'm on mute.
That's crazy. I'm gonna go with the Raptors. Could you go Paul Reed? I could go Nick Richards.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with I guess Paul Reed. Not really a super incredible pick here that you can really take. Could go crazy and go Udoka Azubuike.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Mm-hmm. Brune and I killed that pick whenever it got.
What a terrible pick by the Jazz when that was announced. God.
Yeah, we'll go Paul Reed.
Udoka Azubuike was 54th on my board for the record, and they took him at 26. Worst pick I've ever seen. All right, 30th. I'm just gonna take the Grizzlies. I'm just gonna give them Sam Merrill. Why? Couldn't tell you.
Sam Merrill, the
Couldn't
60th pick
fully
in the
tell
draft.
you.
60th pick of the draft.
Sheesh, Sam Merrill. But yeah, 4 years. Has moved around a little bit, but shoots 40% from three. Played 102 games in his career. 6 points per game in those games. Now, real quick before we wrap up, the players that did not make this list that were first round picks. Colin, you ready for these quote unquote busts?
You just have them written down somehow?
Now, who's the biggest bust of this class? Wiseman?
Probably James Wiseman.
Yeah, it's got to be Wiseman. Jesus. It's got to be Wiseman. Wiseman is the biggest bust. Now, I will say Kyra Lewis for the Pelicans in 4 years has done
Nothing.
Just 0 starts. I mean, played, and I know they got rid of him this year. They traded him to Toronto and then to Utah, and then he went to Utah. But he's like literally since his second year has not gotten more than 10 minutes per game. Just doesn't shoot the ball well. Does really almost nothing well.
So Pokusevsky didn't make it.
Yeah, I could argue Kyra Lewis
it.
is the biggest bust of this class. Jeez,
Who else didn't make it?
Nothing.
The biggest bust of the class. What are you talking about? He's taking 13th.
13th and not get a single like
James Wiseman was taken second. It was supposed to be like the first overall pick and be amazing.
I think
no. James Wiseman is way more of a bust.
All right, Kyra Lewis, Alexa Pokusevsky, who actually had some flashes of being decent, but just ultimately couldn't sustain it.
Zeke Naji
is like a backup center in the league still, so like I don't completely.
RJ Hampton didn't even really play. I feel like
Leandro Balmaro is the pick, probably. Leandro Balmaro has played 49 games in the NBA and went back to Germany this year.
Good for him.
So I shouldn't say back to Germany. He went to go play in Germany. He's Spaniard. Or no, he's Argentinian. Sorry. Argentine. But yeah, Balmaro, Hampton, Azubuike. That's Tyrell Terry at 31 has retired from basketball. So there's the Mavericks.
Azubuike is 27. That might just be like an automatic worst pick in the draft. That's like this year the Bucks drafting
AJ Johnson.
That's what that was.
Yeah. We need a top 5 worst picks of this decade video. That's what we should do.
That is a good idea. Taking LaMelo Ball at second, by the way, in this redraft is still insane, by the way. But you know,
you're scared of him getting hurt. He's gonna be healthy. He's
been hurt every single year.
He's gonna be a multi-time All-Star. He's gonna make like 5 or 6 All-Star games in his career. Halliburton and Maxey are gonna make like 2 or 3
single year.
That's it. LaMelo is going to be a significantly better player all time.
LaMelo played 22 games last year.
I know.
36 the year before that.
He's healthy now. He's gonna get if he's healthy this year, which I think let's knock on wood. He's gonna be healthy this year.
You doctor now?
The Hornets will make the play-in. Book it right now.
Wow,
if
good for
he's
him.
Healthy. At the very least, the play-in, maybe the playoffs. So there you go. All right, that's it. There's the redraft. Hope y'all enjoyed it. This was fun. We'll do this not again this year. Next year we'll do the 2022 draft because we didn't do 2021. But yeah, we'll do it every 3 years. So 2022 draft next year, 23 draft year after that, and so on and so forth. Honestly, we could go back in time and do like old redrafts if you wanted, but
yeah, that's less fun whenever you don't have your board in front of you.
Yeah, the board. I got you. All right. But yeah, that's all we got. Thank y'all for joining us. Leave us a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will talk to y'all later.